Hello everyone, Luis Concepcion here from Strategic Profit Line Trading, coming to you with the plan of the week for week number 16. As always, here's a quick overview of our disclosures. And we have 530 companies reporting this week. I'll cover the news and provide a market overview of the indices. Last week was a quiet week with 19 zones provided. Nothing hit, so hopefully we'll have a better outcome this week if we can expect some volatility with the markets moving. Here's all the earnings that we have. A big week. Like I said, 530 companies reporting this week. I'll do my best to go ahead and provide you with companies that I think have a good opportunity of hitting this week, and we'll go from there. For those of you who are not following me on social media, please feel free to click on the link below or hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. With the news, as you can see, we don't have any news on Monday, and we are coming off a 3-day weekend. So hopefully, we will either when I get to the charts, I'll show you that we're either gonna gap up or gap lower. Hopefully, we don't stay in the same range we've been, and that's to introduce some volatility for all the markets that are reporting this week. So on Tuesday, we have no news again, and then moving on to Wednesday, we have the euro and the British pound being affected pre-market. And then we have our first report affecting the US markets on Wednesday, 15 minutes after the market opened, with our PMI reports on Wednesday. The British pound being affected in the evening. And then moving on to Thursday, we got unemployment claims that'll be pre-market. And then finally on Friday, nothing affecting the US markets. However, the Canadian dollar will be affected pre-market. And the reason for not a lot of news this week, it's probably because earnings is going to give us enough volatility throughout the week in order to make the moves that we need. So getting into the charts and starting with the SPX, as you can see, Monday and Tuesday, we stood in a tight range. Wednesday and Thursday, we stood in another one. Powell did shake the market a little bit and it caused us to drop. However, we pretty much stayed right here. So Sunday's open when the futures market shall be interesting to see if we can close this gap or we're going to head lower. With that being said, the zones that I have for you is going to be the supply zone at 5565.74 to 5788.57, and that's going to be our supply zone on the SPX. And the first demand zone I have for you is going to be 4799.10 to 4675.95. Moving into the NASDAQ. So for the NASDAQ, pretty much similar situation. We had a little bit more volatility. As you can see, previous Monday and Tuesday, we had a bigger range than the SPX. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we sit here. So looking to see if we can fill this gap and continue higher, or are we going to go lower and test our demand zones? With that being said, the first supply zone I have for you in the NASDAQ is going to be 19725.94 to 112.08, and on the demand side 16136.46 to 15699.44. Moving on to the Dow Jones, or the diamonds in this case, same scenario here, a little bit more weaker. As you can see, that it fell a lot more than the SPY and the NASDAQ. So Dow Jones showing a little bit more weakness. Looking for the same thing here, seeing if we can fill these gaps above and continue higher this week. Sunday's opening is going to tell us, give us a better idea of what's going to happen. So with that being said, the first supply zone I have for you is 416.25 to 428. And on the demand side, 363.8 to 360.17. And we're pretty much in the middle. And finally, the rut. Again, in the middle of both our areas. The rut really didn't do anything all last week. As you can see, Monday through Friday stood in this little range. So we're bound to make a move this week. And hopefully earnings will be the catalyst to do that. If you want to learn strategies on how to make money, feel free to click the link below when I have courses coming up. And we can show you how to make money and put on trades that, whether we're going sideways, you want to go short, long, it doesn't matter where the market's at. We can teach you strategies on how to do so. With that being said, the first supply zone I have for you is 2133.34 to 2203.35. And on the demand zone is 1710.79 to 1679.94. Now, moving into earnings, we have a big week of earnings starting with Monday. Let's start with uh, ticker symbol CMA, Comerica. On the demand side, 44.27 to 40.42, and you have two supply zones on top of each other, one starting at 73.98 to, let's call it 77.27, and then 77.27 to 80.22. Next company I have for you is ticker symbol BOKF. That's going to be BOK Financial Corporation. On the demand side, 73.97 to 68.05. On the supply side, 112.09 to 120.59. Moving on to Tuesday, we got Verizon. They are reporting in the morning. First demand zone I have for you is 40.84 to 38.95. Realize that this area has already worked. And if we have an overshoot of this area, we got the 36.17 to 35.32. On the supply side, 50.76 to 52.24. Next company I have for you is Lockheed Martin. On the demand side, 407.85 to 388.51. On the supply side, 569.79 to 581.40. And again, that's Lockheed Martin, ticker symbol LMT. Next company I have for you is Elevance Health, ticker symbol ELV. And on the demand side, 303.68 to 284.85. On the supply side, 486.78 to 510.52. Next company I have for you is Northrop Grumman, ticker symbol NOC. Approaching this supply zone, be mindful that this area has already worked, but it's what's holding Northrop Grumman down. That's it. That supply zone is going to be at 544.36 to 557.29. Now on the demand side, 425.24 to 414.76. I just saw this zone right now. 463.61 to 452.34 is another demand zone on Northrop Grumman. Next company I have for you is Kimberly-Clark, ticker symbol KMB. On the demand side, 128.46 to 124.01. On the supply side, 152.91 to 155.53. Next company I have for you going into Tuesday afternoon is Enphase. Ticker symbol ENPH. On the demand side, 20.30 to 11.51. And on the supply side, 150.02 to 156.71. Tesla is another company that's reporting on Tuesday afternoon. However, I give those zones to my elite members. If you want to learn how to become an elite member, feel free to go to the link below and check us out if you want to subscribe to get weekly updates of the Magnificent Seven. Moving on, ISRG is another company reporting on Tuesday. On the demand side, 406.86 to 393.18. On the supply side, 553.23 to 569.11. Next company I have for you is Capital One, ticker symbol COF. On the demand side, 116.62 to 112.48. On the supply side, 195.47 to 203.05. Next company I have for you is East West Bank, ticker symbol EWBC. On the demand side, 62.32 to 60.17. On the supply side, 96.52 to 99.66. Moving on to Wednesday, first company I have for you is Boeing. So Boeing reacted from our zone here that hit earlier in the month. That zone being 133.08 to 120.76 on the demand side. On the supply side, we got 198.37 to 205.11. Next company I have for you, AT&T, ticker symbol T. This is the level that's been holding AT&T down. That level is going to be 28.10 to 30.05. First demand zone I have for you is going to be 22.79 to 21.78. However, for a little bit more aggressive zone right here, we have the 24.58 to 24.08. Next company I have for you is Vertiv, ticker symbol VRT. On the demand side, 42.94 to 34.06. On the supply side, 120.03 to 126.76. Next company I have for you is Philip Morris, ticker symbol PM. There is no supply in Philip Morris. This company has been headed to the upside for quite some time now. Very, very strong company. First demand zone I have for you is going to be 131.27 to 128.26. In the event of an overshoot, you got the 124.08 to 122.31. Next company I have for you is Next Era Energy, ticker symbol NEE. On the demand side, 60.51 to 53.69. On the supply side, 81.41 to 83.89. Next company is GEV. On the demand side, 201.34 to 187.69. On the supply side, 418.47 to 447.50. Next company I have for you is Chipotle, ticker symbol CMG. On the demand side, 43.58 to 42.87. In the event of an overshoot, you have the 41.74 to 40.71. On the supply side, 57.04 to 59.66. IBM is the next company I have for you, ticker symbol IBM. There is no supply in IBM. The first demand zone I have for you is sitting at 205.85 to 199.05. Next company is Newmont, ticker symbol NEM. On the demand side, 50.98 to 48.63. On the supply side, 57.48 to 58.72. In the event of an overshoot of this area, you have the 63.50 to 70.18. Next company I have for you is Lam Research, ticker symbol LRCX. On the demand side, 53.52 to 50.42. And on the supply side, 95.51 to 98.41. Next company, Texas Instruments, ticker symbol TXN. On the supply side, 194.98 to 199.95. And on the demand side, 115.45 to 103.98. Next company I have for you is Southwest Airlines, ticker symbol LUV. On the supply side, 35.46 to 37.60, and on the demand side, 23.39 to 21.84. Next company I have for you is Pepsi. Moving on to Thursday, sitting in a demand zone at 144 to 127.92, and on the supply side, 183.41 to 187.51. Next company I have for you is UNP. On the demand side, 194.29 to 190.53. On the supply side, 234.51 to 240.23. Next company I have for you is Valero, ticker symbol VLO. On the demand side, 93.25 to 75.05. And on the supply side, 164.45 to 168.97. Next company I have for you is T-Mobile, ticker symbol TMUS. No supply. T-Mobile's been very strong this year. That demand zone that I have for you is 221.29 to 213.07. Next company is ABBV. And moving on, this is the last day is going to be Friday to trade. We got 155.41 to 150.39. And on the supply side, we have 201.46 to 212.11. Next company I have for you is PSX, Phillips 66. On the demand side, 81.58 to 79.06. On the supply side, 120.63 to 126.12. Next company I have for you is Saya, ticker symbol SAIA. Working off this demand zone at 299.25 to 242.88, and they have no supply, so they have a lot of room to the upside. And the last company I have for you this week is going to be Colgate-Palmolive, also reporting on Friday. Demand zone 81.24 to 79.40. On the supply side, 101.98 to 104.92. That's going to do it for our charts today. Once again, do me a favor. If you like this content, feel free to hit that follow and subscribe button for me. Feel free to check me out on social media. And again, click the links below if you want to see when I have upcoming classes or if you want to join any of our trading groups. Till next time, happy trading.